Hi, my name is Robert Kwong, and I am the academic advisor for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. This is part one of the pre-orientation transfer workshop, and there will be a separate video for the part two. This one is current as of summer 2023. This pre-orientation transfer workshop is designed to prepare you for your transfer orientation, also known as transfer preview, to ensure that you will have a smooth process and there will be little, if any, barriers to ensure that you will come in with as few problems as possible. The first of these workshops is basically an overview of what the pre-orientation process is going to be and what the day will be like when you do come in for transfer preview. It will cover basic check items that need to be done prior to coming to orientation. So there'll be as few hiccups as possible, and you have the most updated academic record coming in. So that way you'll know what courses to register for and what courses to avoid registering. So we'll move on to the next slide. So here are the essential reminders. Once you have been admitted to the University of Florida, in your admissions letter, you do have a code that allows you to create a GatorLink username and password. This is the credentials you'll need to have in order to access anything relating to your academic record, financial aid, here at the University of Florida. It also allows you to create your ufl.edu email account. So you want to make sure that these two things are done first, because without these first two things, you can't really move any further. Once you've created your ufl.edu email account, please check it regularly, because all of the official emails relating to your final admissions process, registration, financial aid, all of that will be sent only to your ufl.edu email account. So you need to be in the habit of checking this regularly. Once you've been admitted, generally things will not be sent to the email for which you used on your application. The next thing is also super important, is to make sure that you request all of your academic credentials to be sent to the Office of Admissions. Now, some of you may be in classes right now during the spring semester or the summer semester or fall semester, whichever term that you are in classes. And if those grades have not posted yet, so for example, students who are starting in summer, they may be in classes during spring, and this may be finals week. So grades may not have been posted for that. They're in progress. So the important thing to make sure of is to make sure that the transcript for all of the courses and all of the other test scores have been sent up to that point. And then the rest will be updated, and you send a new transcript with the updated information with the courses that are in progress that are now posted at a later time. That way you have the most accurate academic record when you come in for transfer preview. Don't forget, if there are AP, IB, ACE, or CLAS scores that you have that you have score reports for, go ahead and send those. For our international students, it will be your IELTS or TOEFL score. reports that you'll need to send as well. Also, finally, make sure you read the admissions comments, and sometimes they will include conditions on the Office of Admissions letter, especially if you still have courses in progress. They may set conditions regarding the courses that are in progress that are part of that competitive course listing. For example, if you were a religion major and you've only completed one of the two religion courses for competitive criteria, but the second one is in progress, so they may say you need to complete this course with at least a B or higher by the end of the spring semester. So when you send your final transcript in, it needs to show that you have earned a B and it was completed at the end of spring if you were applying for the summer admission. Okay, so the admissions conditions are very specific for each applicant, if there are any. So make sure you pay attention to those and to make sure that you are meeting those conditions. Now, the first thing that the letter that you have from the Office of Admissions, other than the code for you to create your Gator link username and password, and to create your ufl.edu email, is to make sure that you have registered for transfer orientation, or what we call a transfer preview. In order to be able to register for a orientation day, you do need a Gator link username and password. So that's why that's the very first thing that needs to be completed. Okay, so this is what the page looks like once you're on the orientation registration page. And this is the link, welcome.ufl.edu/orientation/transfer. Okay, so basically, make sure that you go to this link if you had not already done so and register for transfer preview. The next item on the pre-orientation checklist is to make sure that you have been enrolled in the Canvas CLAS transfer transition course. All of the College of Liberal Arts and Science students who have been admitted will be enrolled in this course. This is the webpage for which is our Canvas e-learning platform. And you want to make sure that the CLAS transfer transition course is something that you have been enrolled in. Okay. And again, you must have a username and password. Sorry about that. You must have a username and password to be able to log into the e-learning. So if you created your GatorLink username and password, and you have a ufl.edu email account, but for some reason, you don't see that you've been enrolled in the CLAS transfer transition course, it's quite possible at the time that we were enrolling students who have been admitted, you had not created the GatorLink username and password. So it's a matter of timing. We never know the status of whether students had created the username and password. So we have a specific time where we just enroll everyone who has been admitted. But timing is, crucial here. So if you did not create the username and password at the time that we were enrolling students, it's no big deal. You send an email to class transfer preview at advising.ufl.edu. Must come from your ufl.edu email account. The subject line will say not enrolled in class transfer Canvas course. Provide your full name and UFID number. And it's also helpful to let us know what your major is, to confirm that you're in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and then we'll add you to the course. Okay, so you want to do that relatively soon because there's information in that class transfer transition course that's going to further help you prepare for transfer orientation. So once you are enrolled, this is what the page is going to look like over here on the right side of the slide. It's going to say you have CLAS Transfer Advising Hub, and then you'll see pre-orientation steps 1, 2, and 3, which are basically the things that we are providing for you to get ready for transfer preview. The first one is welcome to CLAS Advising. And really what you want to do is focus on identifying your department advisor. The second module, finalizing your academic record, is reminders about your test scores, your transcripts, and of course, academic holds that will prevent you from registering for classes. And of course, the last module, which is getting ready for orientation, there's the transfer admissions agreement form that students need to complete. And then there's what we call the transfer prep exercise, where you would self-report the incoming credits that you have that potentially meet general requirements. So we have something called 1.uf.edu. This is our platform for all of your UF records. I'm highlighting a few of these things that you will be using very frequently. And again, this is what the dashboard looks like, the home page. And the one thing that you want to pay attention to now before orientation begins is your transfer credit report. The transfer credit report literally is a report of all of your incoming credits. You do want to check your transfer credit report for number one, to make sure that things are posted there. And secondly, to make sure that everything that you are bringing in, test scores, courses from other schools, have been accounted for. The next thing that you want to take a look at is your degree audit. Your degree audit, which is right here, and it'll say degree audit. The box is in a different place for everyone, but the box will say degree audit, and then there's view degree audit. You do want to take a look at your degree audit to see where the credits are populating, because your degree audit is basically a checklist of all of your requirements, the kinds of requirements you need to meet, and where your transfer credits are populating in those different areas. And if you find that your transfer credit report has everything accounted for all your incoming credits, but nothing is accounting for requirements in your degree audit, you do want to talk to an advisor, because it's probably because you need to have course equivalencies to look at. There's also the schedule of courses, so you can look ahead to see what classes are going to be available for you when you do register. So you do register on the day of transfer preview, on the day of your orientation. So you do want to do some research about what classes are available, the days and times, whether it's online, whether it's hybrid or fully in person. And you have access to see what the schedule of courses are for the term that you come in. And it's under the box called courses and registration. And then a smaller box, search schedule of courses. Now, on the day of transfer preview, you would still go to courses and registration, but you are going to go to register view schedule to officially register for your classes. And this is where you can see not only what classes are available, which is what you see here, but you can see which ones have seats for the classes you want to register for. Now, keep in mind, you won't have access to this until the day of registration. And then the other box I put up here that I highlighted is the action items summary. And there's 3 boxes here. The one that you want to pay attention to is the hold summary. And if you have, everyone will have one hold. So you want to click the hold box and you want to make sure that you check to see that there's only one hold remaining. And that hold should be the orientation advising hold. If you have any other holds other than the orientation advising hold, those need to be taken care of. The orientation advising hold will be cleared on the day that you attend transfer preview just before you register for classes. Okay. Other things I just want to highlight that you will be using the 1.UF for. You'll see a box called financial aid. There's a box called campus finances. That's basically if you have any charges that are due to pay for tuition. If you get refunds, where do the refunds go? Your tuition statement. So that's the Bursar's office. So this is a very useful webpage that you will be using very regular. So I recommend that if you take the time to be familiar with this platform. And again, for many people, these boxes show up at a different place, but these boxes do exist. Where it is for you may not be the same for your classmates. So just keep that in mind. Now, to look up your transfer credit report, at the very top on the upper left-hand corner of the 1.UF page, there's this hamburger symbol, basically 3 horizontal lines. That's the menu. If you click on the menu, you got a drop down, and then you'll see transcripts as one of the options. If you click on transcripts, it's going to expand further. And then one of the items in transcripts is called the transfer credit report. And that's what you click on. There's a video on how to access your transfer credit report, and that is in the class transfer transition course. And again, it's important to look at your transfer credit report to make sure that all your incoming credits for grades that have been posted are accounted for. Something briefly I want to discuss about UF courses in terms of equivalency. If you attended any state of Florida public college or university, they use a system. And it's basically, and our courses basically are a 3-letter prefix that represent the department, a 4-digit number that represent a specific course. And then there might be a suffix. Okay, this system is the same across all public Florida institutions. Okay, so for example, BSc 2005C, BSc is the Biological Sciences Department, 2005 is the specific course. C usually indicates a combined lecture and lab. If it's just L, then it's a lab. But again, I mentioned there's common numbering across Florida public colleges and universities. About 80% of our courses follow the common numbering. And this is how it works. Attending any public Florida institution, if the prefix is the same and the last 3 numbers of the 4-digit course number is the same, it doesn't matter what the first digit is, as long as the prefix is the same and the last 3 numbers is the same, it is considered the exact same course. Now, if you're coming from a non-Florida, out-of-state school or international institution, or a private Florida school, they do not follow the common numbering. So they are part of what we call the non-common Florida course numbers. Admissions assigns the appropriate department. There is no course number equivalent because they're not part of the common numbering system. So oftentimes the admissions will give something that's appropriate for the department based on the course title. And then you get a 4-digit number that's like L000 or U000 or T000. Sometimes it's just 4 zeros or XUF something. In other words, it just doesn't match anything that we have here. Usually those need to be evaluated individually. And as a result, it's always important to make sure you have syllabi because the course descriptions from the course catalog doesn't usually give enough information to determine what is going to be equivalent. Now, there is a website called Transferology that does provide some information about what courses can translate here at University of Florida. In other words, if there's any equivalent. Transferology is a great website, especially if someone from that institution had transferred to UF before and that course had been evaluated before, then it gets loaded into the database if it's determined to be an equivalent class. So if we're looking for course equivalency, and it's not just limited to the non-Florida schools or the private Florida schools. Sometimes our public Florida institutions, they don't always follow the common numbering system, especially with the 3,000, 4,000 level courses. As I said earlier, 80% do follow common numbering. So sometimes, if you're looking to see if there are any equivalents to University of Florida, then you would just go to this Transferology webpage and you can look up the host school, which is University of Florida. And you can look at the school from which the courses are coming from. If there is an equivalency, it will be listed here. If there is no equivalency, meaning that there's not a specific course prefix and course number that matches something that is taught here at University of Florida, then these are your next steps. You need to contact the undergraduate coordinator or the department relating to the course that you want to have evaluated, and you need to contact them from your ufl.edu email account and provide the following: your name, your UFID number, the listing of the schools, the listing of the courses from the original school or schools you want evaluated, and then a syllabi for all courses attached in Word format or PDF format. Okay, the syllabi, again, are important. Keep in mind that courses are evaluated by individual departments. So if you have major coursework that needs to be evaluated, and let's say that you are a biology major and you took biology courses, chem courses, and a cal course and physics course prior to coming here, and they are not listed anywhere in Transferology, then biology department undergraduate coordinator will review your biology courses. The calc course has to be evaluated by the math department undergraduate coordinator. The chemistry courses have to be evaluated by the chemistry undergraduate coordinator, and likewise for physics. And that's because the biology department is not in a position to determine what's equivalent for chemistry. They're not in a position to determine what's equivalent for physics. So you do have to go to the individual departments or anything that's going to be related to your major. Anything that needs to be evaluated for gen ed requirements, you would see a general advisor like myself, and we'll take a look to see if equivalencies can be given. So you go to the appropriate advisors for the type of requirements that you're looking to get equivalency for. So what does transfer preview day look like? generally right in the morning. There's a check-in and continental breakfast. There's a welcome. There's student engagement activities. Um, and there might be some small groups where you get to meet some of the transfer students that you will be interacting with, while you're here at UF. Information about UF resources like campus safety, financial aid. There's lunch on your own. And then right after lunch, there might be some other student engagement activities that are really brief. And then there will be, for liberal arts and science students, there will be a College of Liberal Arts and Science presentation about your requirements in this college in more detail, and then opportunities that our college has for all of our liberal arts and science students. After the class presentation, you are going to meet with your advisors in each of your respective majors. So all of the history majors will gather together in a group and meet with their history advisor. All of the biology major students will leave as a group to meet with their biology advisors, and so on. And then after you've met with your department advising, there's registration on your own. And for students, the registration, don't forget, you go to 1.uf. Once you are here for transfer preview, you will go to the 1.uf and click on the registration view schedule in order to begin enrolling in your classes. And meeting with your department advisors, they are going to help you with the courses you need for your major. In the class transfer transition course, when you complete transfer prep, the transfer prep exercise will help you see what is remaining for your gen ed requirements. So you are going to go into your transfer preview day with a strong idea about what courses to register for. Now, what if you have additional questions after meeting with your department advisor on the very same day of preview? In that evening, after preview has concluded, there will be a Zoom Q&A. You want to make sure you look at your ufl.edu email account, because we are sending you the Zoom link on the day of transfer preview to answer any additional questions that you have during that Q&A. And it's a drop-in. You come in and you leave as you prefer. You don't have to stay the entire time. And then if there's any registration questions or issues, that can be taken care of at that Q&A Zoom session in the same evening. We also offer post-transfer preview appointments to schedule an appointment with an advisor the next business day after orientation. Keep in mind that seats in needed courses are held for new transfer students at every single transfer preview session. So you are essentially guaranteed a seat for anything that is needed for your major. Electives are another story, gen eds are another story, because those are not things that you need immediately in your first semester, but there will be some that are going to be available. Electives, there will be a wide pool of electives. There'll be a wide variety of different gen ed requirements, but the one that you prefer may not always be available, but courses for your major, courses you need for your major will be held. A certain number of seats at each transfer preview to spread it across to make sure everyone gets a chance for those. Now, you generally do not need to have your schedule completed on the day of transfer preview. But you do need to make sure, especially for students who are coming in for summer A. If you are coming in for summer A, you want to make sure that there is a minimum of one course on your schedule before 11:59 p.m. that same evening for anyone who is starting in summer A. So if you were admitted for summer A, you want to have a minimum of one course by 11:59 p.m. Otherwise, there'll be a late registration fee. You can still register after your first preview for the summer A students, but there will be a late registration fee. If you are coming in a little bit later, like summer B and summer and fall, that is not as much a concern because there's multiple preview sessions. But for summer A, there's only one, and you start that following Monday after Friday. Now, I do want to make you aware that when you start in summer, that the schedule adjustment period, that means the time that you can adjust your schedule, drop and add courses without penalty, is only 2 days. So for summer A, you only get 2 days to shop around for classes and finalize your schedule. So it's the first 2 days. If you are starting in summer B, it's the same thing. You get only 2 days to adjust your schedule and finalize it. However, for the fall schedule, in the fall schedule, you will get 5 days to adjust your schedule. Fall and spring terms, you have 5 days. It's only summer that gives you 2 days. Now, we do offer pre-orientation advising appointments. So we do recommend that once you've completed the class transfer transition pre-orientation steps, or if you got some questions or you got stuck on the pre-orientation steps, to schedule the pre-orientation appointment. So that way we can take a look at your academic record. We can make sure that things are taken care of. There aren't any other holds other than the orientation hold, and address other potential issues that might come up. And again, all this to make sure that you'll have a smooth and good experience when you come here for orientation or preview. Okay, now for students who have been registered for transfer preview, you would have received an email with a bookings link for the pre-orientation appointments. And we will have these throughout the entire process prior to orientation as students are registering for their specific sections of orientation. Okay, and stay tuned for part 2 of the pre-orientation workshop, where we will actually go over the entire class transfer transition course on the pre-orientation steps. If there are any questions, you can always contact me at classtransferpreview@advising.ufl.edu. Thank you for watching this video.